Hello students, today we are going to start with yet another interesting grammar topic, that is modal auxiliaries. Let's start. I'll be reading first four sentences, be attentive. Geeta submits her project. Two-wheeler riders wear helmets. He goes to college every day. She bakes a cake. Now, what you come to know children here, I have underlined the verb, and in each of these sentences we come to know that we are having only one verb. So we can say these verbs are main verb. Now, next four sentences. Geeta is submitting her project. Two-wheeler riders must wear helmets. He should go to college every day. She can bake a cake. Now, in these sentences, children, you'll come to know we are having two verbs like is submitting, must wear, should go, and can be. Now, in this case, we can say the first verb is helping verb and the second verb is main verb. The helping verb is also known as auxiliary verb, and you have to keep in mind it always comes before the main verb. Now, students, you have to know that these auxiliary verbs are of two types, primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary. Let's see primary auxiliary first. She is writing a letter. Now, in this sentence, again, what we come to know is helping verb and writing is the main verb. So, is what? Helping verb here. It is auxiliary verb here. But if I say, she is an intelligent girl. Now, in this sentence, what you come to know is the main verb. Here, it is not working as an helping verb. So, you have to keep in mind, primary auxiliary can work as an auxiliary verb as well as the main verb, that you have to keep in mind. Now, there are types of modal auxiliary like to be, to do, and to have. To be form of primary auxiliaries are is, am, are, was, and were. Now, you have to keep in mind, children, this primary auxiliary changes according to the subject also. If I say, she and her sister both are writing a letter, can I say both is writing a letter? It will be wrong, because I am speaking about two people here, two person here, that girl and her sister. So what happens? The primary auxiliary changes from is to are. So two changes of primary auxiliary you have to keep in mind. This primary auxiliaries can work as a main verb as well as an auxiliary verb. And you also have to keep in mind primary auxiliary changes according to the subject. Keep these two changes in mind, children. Now, this to be form of the verb, that like is, am, are, was, were, are used in tenses as well as passive voice. Like for example, if I say she is writing a letter, if I have to change it into passive voice, it will become she was writing a letter. Understood? So, to be form of primary auxiliaries are used in tenses and passive voice. To do form of the auxiliaries, primary auxiliaries are used in emphasis, negation and question. Those to do form of primary auxiliaries are do, does and did. For emphasis, you can say you should do your homework daily. Or if it is negation here, means negative sentence, you can say the mechanic comes here every day, doesn't he? Means I am using it in negative form. Or did he come early today? Here I am asking a question. So this to do form of primary auxiliaries are used for emphasis, negation and question. Now the next one is to have form of primary auxiliaries like has, have and had. These auxiliaries are used for perfect tense and perfect continuous tense. I have done tenses grammar topic with you all. You can refer my video for this purpose. Now, I hope you have understood what are primary auxiliaries. Now, after that, let's see modal auxiliary. Now, children, see this sentence. Mary can bake a cake. Now, if in this sentence, if I only say Mary can a cake, is this sentence meaningful? No, it is not. Until and unless I add the main verb, this sentence does not have any meaning here. So you have to keep in mind that modal auxiliaries are helping verb used with the main verb. It cannot stand alone. Mary can a cake. It is wrong sentence. It cannot stand alone until and unless I add the word bake here. Understood? So, modal auxiliaries are helping verb used with the main verb to convey meaning. They can be used only as auxiliaries here. We cannot use it in any other sense. How? See here, this primary auxiliary can be used as an auxiliary verb as well as the main verb. But in this case, in case of modal auxiliary, we cannot use it as a main verb. Modal auxiliary is always a helping verb, you can say. And you also have to keep in mind, they do not change according to the subject. Suppose I say Mary can bake a cake, singular, one person. But if I say Mary and Tom can bake a cake, is the modal verb changing here? No, it is not changing. Mary and Tom can bake a cake. Here again, it does not change according to the subject. These two changes of primary and modal auxiliary you have to keep in mind. See, I have given the example here. After that, now we are going to see types of modal auxiliary. Modal auxiliaries are can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, must, ought to, used to, need not, and dare not. Now we will see functions of this modal auxiliary with one single example, children. Now see here. If I say I can sing a song, it shows what? I have the ability to sing a song. If I say I could sing a song, it shows my past ability, that in past I could sing the song, but now I could not. If I say I may sing a song, it shows possibility that in future I may sing a song. But if I say I might sing a song, it shows remote possibility. Remote possibility here means what? I am not sure whether I will sing or I may not. I may sing or I may not. So, might indicates remote possibility. If I say I will sing a song, it shows my determination, my willingness that I am going to sing a song. If I say I shall sing a song, it indicates simple future tense, that in future I shall sing. If I say I should sing a song, means it is an advice here. If I say I must sing a song, so here you can say it is compulsion. If it is I ought to sing a song, so here you can say that it is obligation here. If I say I need not sing a song, means absence of necessity. It is not necessary for me to sing a song. If I say I dare not sing a song, so it shows absence of courage, that I don't have courage to sing a song. That you have to keep in mind. Now this we have seen one you can say function of each modal auxiliary. But now children, one modal auxiliary can have more functions also. Let's see different functions of each modal auxiliary in detail now. Now see first can. I can speak Spanish language. It shows my ability that I know Spanish language. But if I say, can I borrow your book? It means I am asking or I am seeking permission to borrow or to take your book. So can has two functions, that is ability and permission. Now next one, could. Could you help me to lift this bag? Means I am making a polite request to someone to lift the bag. If I say, you could take up this part-time job, means I am suggesting someone to take up the part-time job. If I say, I could hear a dog barking all through the night, it shows the past ability, means last night I could hear the dog barking, now I can't, or now the dog is quiet. Could I speak to the manager for a minute? I am seeking permission again. Now, after that, may. May I come in? So here children, it is again a permission you can say. I am seeking permission. Or suppose I say, you may come in. Here you will find that I am granting permission. If I say, I may be away from home this Sunday, it shows the possibility, or you can say remote possibility. It is probability also you can say. I am not sure that I may go, or I might not go. Or suppose if I say, may I help you to solve this sum? So it is that I am offering help. And then if I say, may God bless you, so it can be a prayer, it can be a blessing here you can say for someone. Yeah, so may can be used for prayer, wish, blessing or curse also. If I say, may you fall down on the street today, so I am giving a curse to a person, I am cursing a person. So there are many functions of may. It can be used as permission, granting permission, possibility, offering help, prayer, wish, blessing or curse. Now children, might. He said that he might go to college tomorrow. Now may here might is used as past tense of may. Now if you read this sentence carefully, or if you see this sentence carefully, you come to know that it is what? Indirect speech. So we all know the rule of indirect speech. In indirect speech, what happened? The modal auxiliary changes. May changes to might, shall changes to should, can changes to could. So here again, it is past tense of may you can say in indirect speech here. Then again, it might rain today. So here it is again remote possibility. You are not sure whether it will rain or it may not rain also. Then will. We will come to know the news by tomorrow. Now here this will indicates future tense, that we will come to know the news by tomorrow. I will get a first class this time. It shows my determination here children, that I am determined that I will get the first class this time. After that, polite request. Will you pass the salt please? So again, here will has three functions like future tense, determination and polite request. You can say determine or determination also here. After that, would. He told me that he knew that it would be difficult for him. Here again, would is used as past tense of will. Again here it is indirect form. He told him that he knew that it would be difficult. So here you can say it is used as past tense of will. That you have to keep in mind. It is again indirect. It is again indirect speech. After that, when I was child, I would always get up at 5. Now this is past habitual action, means when that person was child, That time he used to get up at 5. Now he is not getting up at 5. He might get up at 8 or 10 o'clock. So it is past habitual action. In the past you used to do it. Then if I say, would you lend me a pen? So it is again polite request. If I say, oh, Otto would probably come today, it is again possibility here. So here children, in each and every modal auxiliary you'll come to know it plays many functions here. Shall, you shall be punished later on. You can say it is a threat. You are threatening a person. Or if I say, shall we go for a movie? It's a suggestion or advice. If I say, shall I give you a piece of cake? It is making an offer. I am offering a cake to someone. So, shall has three functions: threat, suggestions, or making offers. And one more, that is prohibition, you can say here. You shall not go to meet your friend every evening. Means you do not want that person to go to meet his or her friend. So you are prohibiting that person to go there. So again, you can say prohibition is one of the function for shall. If I say should, you should vote during elections. Here, should indicates duty or obligation. It is your duty. You should go to vote during elections. We should leave by tomorrow. It is suggestion. You are suggesting or giving an advice that we should leave by tomorrow. Now, must. You must submit the project in time. It is compulsion. Understood? You have to keep in mind, must is always used for compulsion. If I say, she must have forgotten her tiffin, means I am guessing that the person must have forgotten the tiffin. So it is used for guess. We must respect all religions. It is our obligation. It is our duty, you can say here. So must is also used for obligation. If I say ought to, we ought to respect our parents. It becomes our moral obligation. Ought to becomes what? Our moral obligation. In your exam, children, if they ask you that fill in the blank with modal auxiliary showing obligation here, so what you will do? You can use ought or you can use should. Avoid writing must there, because must is always used for compulsion only. When you are compulsion doing giving, or you can say saying showing compulsion in particular sentence, that time you should use must. Then used to. I used to swim every evening. This is my past habitual action. Now I don't swim every evening, but I used to. In the past, I used to swim every evening. Now then, if I say, there used to be a hotel at the corner of the street. It is existence of something in the past. There used to be a hotel. Now it must have been demolished and other new building must have been constructed there. So used to is used for past habitual action as well as existence of something in past. Now suppose if I say need, you need not pay the money right away. Means it shows negation. Means I am telling that person not to pay the money right away. Negation means negative sentence. If I say, need you pay the money right away? Here I am asking a question. So again here you can say it is what? Need can be used for negation and question. If I say dare, how dare you sit here? Means it tells you or it indicates that how does that person have courage to sit there? How dare you sit here? So it shows courage. If I say you dare not sit here, means I am challenging that person that you just sit and see what I will do to you. So it shows challenge also. So dare has two functions, that is courage and challenge, that you have to keep in mind. Now children, I have shown you all, or I have discussed with you all various functions of each modal auxiliary. Now for examination children, what you have to do, you will go through this video lecture again. You will learn what is the function of each modal auxiliary. You will write there, can is used for ability and permission, Could can be used for polite request, suggestion, past ability and permission. May can be used for permission or granting permission, seeking permission or granting permission. Or you can say possibility, offering help, prayer, wish, blessing and curse. Might can be used as past tense of may in indirect form or remote possibility. Will can be used for future tense, determination and polite request. Would can be used as past tense of will and past habitual action, polite request and possibility. And shall can be used for threat, suggestion or making offers and prohibition. Should can be used for duty or obligation, suggestion. Must can be used for compulsion, guess and obligation. You have to always keep in mind, must you should only use it for compulsion and guess. When they ask you to write about an obligation, you can write should or you can write ought to also. You can opt any one of it, ought to or should. And must should always be for guess and compulsion only. It can be obligation, you won't get wrong, but I am just telling you all what is the actual meaning of it. After that, ought to can be used as moral obligation, probability. Used to can be used as past habitual action or existence of something in past. Need can be used for as negation or question, and dare can be used as courage or challenge. I hope you have understood this. Go through the video lecture again and make note of it. Try to solve as many sentences as you can so that it becomes easy for you all to understand this particular topic. Thank you.